And Jake, this is the second time this has happened that we know of so far. Last week, they stopped payments. This week, they're saying people who apply for unemployment will have to wait several additional days for those payments as they work to get a handle on the number of people filing fake claims. Now, you just heard the unemployment numbers that were released today, but yesterday the state announced that the unemployment rate in April hit 15.4%. So on top of trying to figure out what claims are real, which are fake, they're still trying to help thousands of people get their unemployment benefits. Now, earlier this week, we reported the U.S. Secret Service is investigating who might be filing these fraudulent claims, and that includes a Nigerian crime ring who has been targeting Washington state's unemployment by using stolen identities. Now, the Employment Security Department says in April it paid out $1.6 million in fraudulent claims unknowingly. With the current stall on payments, they're looking to root out future fraud as well as future theft. They're also adding fraud investigators and asking people to provide more information when they file future claims. Now, we've spoken to some of the victims of these fake claims, and what they're telling us is that while they didn't apply for unemployment, they're getting a letter in the mail that says, hey, your unemployment benefits are in the works, and they're wondering what happened. What the Employment Security Department is saying is if you get one of these letters and did not apply for unemployment, you should reach out to them as soon as possible. They have a form right on their website that you can fill out. Live in Linwood, Callie Greenberg, King 5 News.